So this is how I set up the front suspension on this car. As far as the rear is concerned, I'll tell you a quick story real quick. When I was building this car, setting it up in the rear and everything, I believed the hype as far as polyurethane and get box control arms. I didn't want to go stock, so I got a kit from a company. They gave me the box control arms with the polyurethane bushings for the lower, polyurethane bushings in the upper adjustable control arms, and also polyurethane for the carrier bushings. I put that all in. The car rode very unpredictable, because what's supposed to happen, what happens with these cars, what's supposed to happen is the rear of the car is supposed to articulate. That's why they put rubber control arms, rubber bushings in these cars when they come out of the factory, to make the rear end articulate and move freely. Now, if the car doesn't move freely, it's going to be unpredictable. When you hit a bump, it wants to go its own way, not the way you're turning it. So I don't care what anyone says, polyurethane is not as soft as rubber. I don't care what anyone says. And what happens is once you put polyurethane in replace of these rubber bushings, now you're hindering its articulation. I'm not sure the number, I think it's about 30%, which means it's going to make the car unpredictable. So furthermore, when I was going to do a little maintenance on it, because I had the bushings in there for 6 months, I was doing a little maintenance on it, and greasing them, I noticed that there was cracks in the polyurethane. I also noticed chunks of the polyurethane was coming out of the bushing housing, all right, the case that the bushing's in, and I couldn't have it in the sleeve. I couldn't have that. So I've ripped every single polyurethane unit out of the rear in this car, and I'm going to show you exactly what components I went with. All right, so let's get up under the car. I'm going to show you exactly what parts I went with that I'm very happy with. Okay, here we are. We're under the car. Now, if you remember, I had the box control arms from, well, I'm not going to tell you what company I had them from because, they were a little defective, but we're not going to talk about that. We're talking about the new parts that we got in here now, which will work a lot better. All right? So, come on. Let's see if we get a better view. All right. Right here. Lower control arm. These lower control arms and the upper control arms in the rear are from Yumi. All right, now I know this end has a polyurethane. I know that, and I'm not a big fan of polyurethane, but it serves as a purpose because this end is a rotor joint. Now, a rotor joint is like it's almost like it's a joint, if you will, and it gives a lot of articulation. And I don't know if you can see this, let's try to get a little light. There we go. There we go. Now if you can see that right there, that's the carrier bushing. All right? That carrier bushing also is like a rotor joint. It's called the Johnny joint that fits in there. Now what that does, it increases its articulation. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. You guys are thinking, okay, that's like a metal joint, so it's got to be a little bit firm. But no, this is one of the most comfortable cars in my fleet. And it has the Johnny joint and the rotor joint and the lower control arm. And then you also have the rotor joint on the other side of the upper control arm. So again, this makes for a very comfortable car because it allows for the articulation. And if you see this, there's the Hotchkis 2-inch drop spring again. So it gives the car a nice little stance. And the Hellwig, this is a Hellwig, it's the adjustable. Yes, it's the adjustable rear control arm for a 70 to 72 Chevelle. Oh, actually 68 to 72. So this is, and it has like a dog bone. And now the beauty of this control arm, it doesn't attach to the lower control arm. I'm sorry, the beauty of the sway bar, it doesn't attach to the lower control arm like traditional sway bars. What it does, it attaches to the frame of the car. So you're gonna definitely feel, and it's also adjustable. See, you got 3 different notches set for, aggressive use or whatever you're gonna use yours for. Mine's on the mildest setting because I'm going to try to autocross this car at some point, but right now it's mostly a street car, and it's like, I drive it as often as I can, so I really don't need to have the aggressiveness of what this bar could deliver. And finally, the brains of this whole configuration is the double adjustable Very shock. All right. Now, do you need a double adjustable?
you could, but you could get away with a single adjustable. See, I know me. I said to myself, you know, like, if I get the single adjustable, I would have been loving it, and then I would have been like, but in the back of my mind, I would have been like, I wish I got the double adjustable, because you can adjust not only the compression, but the rebound, which is really cool. Now, you got 16 settings, which make for a large amount of possible combinations that you can have in just your ride. And this is part of the fun now, because like you're trying all types of combinations, and you got to figure out which one's best for you. Now, this is the way I set up my rear. Let's brief it down. Shocks, Hellwig sway bar, adjustable. Yumi lower and Yumi upper control arms. Upper control arms are adjustable with the Johnny joint and the rotor joint. And the 2-inch drop Hotchkis, say it with me, spring again. And that's how I set up my rear and the front of my car, and it rides beautiful, and I'd do it again if I had an A body. And it's just a great setup. And so there you have it. That's how I set up the rear. And you know what's really cool? Before you put the shocks in, you know, move up on the rear axle, and you can watch how freely the rear end articulates. It's almost like Tai Chi. You know what I'm saying? It's like watching Bruce Lee move right before he does his thing. You know, he's be water, my friend. I mean, it just moves so freely. You know, so if you have any questions about front end geometry or rear end articulation, remember, give Mark a call. There he is right there again at SC&C. He will answer any questions. You can't stump him. He knows it all. If it's even setting up your street car, your daily car, or even setting up a race car. The man knows his stuff, and you're not going to be able to stump him. I tried. So, looking at the clock on the wall, it's time for me to get back to possibly tweaking these Veroshocks so I can get ultimate performance, and possibly see you guys at a car show, because it's spring again. And I want you to have a happy spring. So until the next time, be safe, be easy, and I will catch you guys soon.